have you spent trying to figure out what a legal tackle is and what a legal tackle isn't?
Zero. Zero, because, I mean, it's an idiotic rule, so there's no need to even go down that road. There's no way you can tackle in the way they're asking people to tackle and play football. I mean, I could probably tackle like that if I was standing still and got on my knees and nobody was moving and I was tackling bags or something. But to ask people to do that at full speed is just ridiculous.
But, I mean, it might be, in your words, an idiotic rule, but it's a rule, and it's a 15-yard penalty.
It's going to be a 15-yard penalty, and it's going to be a 15-yard penalty every single play on darn near every player. But it's odd. It's one of those rules that they're obviously only calling on defense. You know, I saw one with A.J. Bouye and a running back where the running back literally plowed his head into his chest, and then they somehow called the penalty on A.J. Bouye, and he got ran over. And it's like, oh, so the initiating the contact with the crown of the helmet, which the running back did, only applies if you're a defensive player. Makes sense.
Do you feel the league is hurting itself at all by creating a controversy that takes focus away from the sport itself?
Name something that's less NFL than that. I mean, that's what the NFL is known for. That's what our league is known for, doing something that takes the attention away from the game. And the game has actually been played great, but the catch rule, this helmet thing, I mean, it's what we do.
You want to play Saturday?
Yeah, I'm going to play.
You are going to play?
Yeah, I'm going to play.
How important is that for you to get out there and go against another team before the regular season?
It's important just for defensive continuity standpoint. It's just, you know, everybody knowing where people are going to be on game day. You don't want the first time you deal and communicate with somebody else to be with live bullets out there. So you want to get out there and get your communication. You know, if somebody can't hear or somebody's not looking, you want to kind of get those tweaks out the way.
Are you more curious to see how your Achilles responds or your hamstring?
Oh, neither. Those things are feeling great. They freaking waited an extra week. I could have played last week. That's what I was trying to do, and they, you know, Kyle, they held us back. But yeah, I'm not really concerned about how that's going to respond. I'm more concerned about my game shape and making sure that I, you know, can still go every single play because I haven't played in 8 months.
You were able to go against DeAndre Hopkins a little bit after practice last week. Is that one of those test measuring sticks that you're able to use?
Yeah, definitely. It was just one of those things where I needed to get some reps against somebody else and see his movements, react, and, you know, it's just getting game reps when they wouldn't let me practice. You know, you got to sneak them in.
How close were you when you injured your hamstring? How close do you feel you were to being back 100%?
I was probably like 85%, you know what I mean? Because it started getting to the grindy part of camp where your body's kind of breaking down, your legs are dead, and you're just kind of, you know, maintaining. And I took like a weird step. It wasn't like, oh man, I was just running straight and caught my hamstring. I took like a weird step on an angle, and it's kind of a freak deal. But it gave me time to heal back up again and feeling even better now, and look forward to going out there this week.
Richard, like a year ago now, but much was made at the time of you first got back in there, you went right against Marquise, and he burned you deep, and it went viral. And anyway, so Kyle used it as a teaching point. Did you, I guess, did you appreciate what Kyle did and pointed out that you weren't afraid to fail, and B, did you have any trepidation about doing that initially?
Oh, no, that was a great coaching point. It was a great moment for him to teach it. You know, at the end of the day, we're not, at least I'm not concerned about the outside world, you know, oh man, he got beat in practice. Like I've been beat a ton in practice. I've been beat probably thousands of times in practice. But the amount of times I'm beat on a Sunday with the lights on is very limited, because in practice you're working your craft, you're trying to figure out what you're going to do. That's like you guys putting out an article that's a rough draft and putting it out for everybody to see. It's like, hey, this is a rough draft. Yes, it has some typos, some mistakes, some notes, some stuff that doesn't look right. The wording's off, no commas, no periods, yada, yada, yada. But this is a rough draft. I'm sorry that you saw it before I put out the final product. You know, what we see on Sunday is the final product. So I think people get kind of lost in that. You know, you get lost in practice reps and say, oh, my God, did you see what happened in practice? Well, I mean, it looks good. It sounds good. But it's a whole lot going on in practice. Like Kyle said, it's technique. It's guys working on different steps because you're allowed to make mistakes in practice. You're allowed to get beat and stumble because then you figure out what works and what doesn't work. If you find something that works, you keep using it, you put it in your bag, you use it on game day. On game day, you're using your best stuff.
So, I mean, along those lines, do you need this game to see what you, at the stage that you are in your career, what works and what adjustments you have to make from the past?
No, not really. I kind of know at this point. That was my first day wearing pads in 8-9 months. So, at that point, it's still trying to get your feet under you in general. You haven't played football in 8-9 months to get out there the first time and get your feet under you, get your bearings. That's the first drill of the first period. It's just one of those things.
A lot of your teammates, particularly offensive guys, talk about what it's like watching Kyle break down film, how detailed he is, things like. Now that you've been around him for a while, I know that was something you said that attracted you here in the first place. What are your impressions of him?
He's incredible. He's a savant in that regard. He has a great understanding of his scheme schematically, how to manipulate scheme, and how to help other people understand how the scheme is being manipulated and where the holes are, and when somebody makes an adjustment, where the new hole is, et cetera, et cetera. And he's as good as anybody I've ever seen at that.
When you have a guy like that who's as strong as he is with X's and O's and is a younger guy but maybe has some swag factor to him, Little Wayne sending him care packages, all that, does that stuff, does that balance matter, especially trying to get through to younger players?
I think there's more than one way to skin a cat. I think there's more than one way to coach a team, and he has a very unique way of doing it, and I think it really appeals to a lot of we're a very young team for the most part. You got a couple older guys, but I think it appeals to both sides. Guys understand that, he shows his human side. He makes mistakes just like everybody else. He's the first to admit it, but he also coaches guys. He'll show a guy a mistake. He'll coach when somebody's technique is off, et cetera. He'll coach from every angle. So I think everybody respects and understands and appreciates that.
You talked about getting your feet underneath you. Do you feel that's more of a factor or an issue when you're at full stride or when you're stopping and starting? Or
No, it was just it's more of a factor when you haven't played football in 8 months. So I mean, you find somebody who set out the game and go film their first rep against an opponent. I guarantee you, it's not going to look like it did 8 months ago. And then 2 weeks later, I guarantee you, it starts to look exactly like they've been looking. It was just getting back in football shape, getting back into the speed of the game. Not much else than that.
Richard, back to the video. But, I mean, based on that, a lot of people are like, oh, geez, well, now this proves that Richard Sherman doesn't have it anymore. He can't recover. I mean, I guess from your background, maybe you enjoyed that. I mean, does that add a little more fuel for you?
No, because I wasn't really fueled by the folks in the first place. You know what I mean? When nobody knew about me, I knew about me. If I walked out and told everybody, hey, I'm going to be a 3-time All-Pro and perennial Pro Bowler my rookie year, people would have laughed. But that's what small minds do. They find things to criticize. They're like, oh man, look, somebody else is not doing great. But people that are successful and that are dominant and great at things they do, you take failure with a grain of salt every time. Cool, I lost that rep. I learned from the rep, and I got better, and I moved on. And the next rep, you learn from it, you get better, you move on. It's no such thing as, if you let people's criticism really define who you are, you'll always be a failure.
That's good. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Richard.